thing that you want to know is, what is the best way to run my business successfully? Not how little can I skirt off and get off the ground, but how do you want to run it successfully? And I can tell you, if you come in with a mindset of, I'm going to do this the best way, the most important way, or whatever the way it is, so that I'm successful right out the starting gate, I have a better visual. For instance, when I came into Mary Kay, my father said the richest and smartest people use other people's money. So I said, great, Dad, I'll use yours. So, when you're 22, that's what you do. So when you're 22, and I said, Dad, let me borrow $700, and I'll make you out of services, I'll pay you $50 a month. Now, to me at 22, that was like, okay, that's... How many mascaras is it? And back in the day, 30 years ago, mascara was, $5. Today it's $15. So it's a whole different ballgame. But you do that because, you want some product to go in. And I was scared to have too much, although we always had the buyback policy. And I think if some of you have heard my story before, I went to my first party, and there were 5 people there, and I sold $300. Now, I had driven an hour and a half to that party. And that night, 3 women liked the same eyeshadow. And a $600 order back then was 1 of every color. Today it's just 5 eyeshadows, okay? But 1 of every color. So when those 3 people said I would like the brown eyeshadow, that's when I had to say, you know what? I think this other color would look much better on me. Because in my mind, I knew 1 of each, 1 of each, 1 of each. I only had, and it was an hour and a half drive. Now you think about the gas prices that we just had in the past 5 years. So I couldn't do anything about it. So I went back home and I called my director, because directors always have the answer, right? So I called my director and I said, now what do I do? And she said, Janis, come to my house, we'll trade a couple colors, but you might want to think about getting some better inventory. So I traded the eyeshadows, and then I drove back an hour and a half and delivered them. Waste of gas and time. So all I can tell you is, at the age of 23, having inventory for me, because I wanted to make money. Now, I had a job. I was going to school full time. I did not have a lot of time. But I figured even if I only worked 2 hours, I'd rather make money right away. And so for me, I wanted to be on a profit-making basis. And that's why I went to my credit union. And everybody starts differently. That's why I went to my credit union and started at the age of 22 years old with the $2,000 business loan. My pay was $75 a month. So I knew I had to sell $75. It's not supposed to come out of your other paying job. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not supposed to come out of your regular job that you have. It's supposed to come from your sales. And you need to ask yourself, if you're not selling $100 a month, you need to ask yourself, why are you in Mary Kay? Because we would assume that you would come in to make money. Does that make sense? So you want to, number 2 is, what is the best way to start your business successfully? 1 is to set up your website. Because why? Because that makes you have social media. That will give the word out to other people. That is so much a part of what you need to have done. So, you want to make sure that you have your website. Does everybody get their website up in your website? Okay. And then, isn't the website great? All of a sudden it says your name and it says, hello, and your name's there, and you're like, holy crud, how did that happen? And then you start, it's the most fascinating place. Now, I will tell you what I would suggest you do is go to the tips and trends section. It says tips and trends, and then scroll down and click the virtual makeover site. Okay, once you click the virtual makeover site, I would highlight, copy, and paste the URL into that, okay? And take that and keep that aside like in a Word document or something. And anytime you come home from a makeover, let's say I just did a party with Wendy, and she had 4 of the girls there, and I come home and I send her and say, thank you, Wendy, so much for coming to our party tonight. I thought you would love to go and see our hair apps and our area that you have to do that. Click this link below and you'll go right to it. Because sometimes your website, there's so much there that people can get lost on that website. Does that make sense? And so by actually taking them right to the virtual makeover. Now, for those of you who are new like Carrie, you could send that link to 10 people and said, I'm brand new, and in order to finish my training, you could say that for like a couple months. In order to finish my training, I need to have 15 people go on my virtual makeover site. And you could do that tonight. Now, there is no way in heck you can't get 15 women to go on and have a virtual makeover and nobody buy anything. That doesn't happen. But don't just take them to your website. Do you know what I'm saying? Take them to the virtual makeover part of your website. So, so best way to make yourself successful, inventory, business cards, website. Those would be the 3 key things. Because people always say, do you have a card? You're like, no, they're on order. So, that's the other thing. And get your business cards. And remember that all those are tax deductions. Your starter kit when you came in was a tax deduction. Your website is a tax deduction. Your beauty coat is a tax deduction. My national suit is a tax deduction. My trip to Hawaii and all my food was a tax deduction. my phone calls home, whatever, I don't know, whatever it was a tax deduction. So goal, what you guys want is your goal. Break it down. You know what that is and how much you want. I will tell you, go back to that goal part, is you need to share that with somebody who can help you. Like if I know Carrie needs to make $2,000 a month, I'm going to be working closely with her. If she wants to make $2 a month, I'll say, call me when you need some help. Does that make sense? So I want to know what you guys want out of the business. Nicole has been in my unit since '07, basically flatline, done nothing since 2007. Placing one order a year since 2007. And so 5 months ago, she called me, she said, I'm ready. I'm like, for what? I mean, when you have a track record of 2007 doing nothing, you figure that's what's going to happen. She's not going to do anything. She said, I'm ready to do something for Mary Kay. I said, really? Seriously? And what ended up happening, her husband lost his job. She lost her job. They were losing everything. And we have reason now to do this. So I came and did a party for her 5 months ago. We had a $700 party. She was like, okay, I have no product. This was a killer. So we ordered inventory, got her $700 party, and then 5 months later, we had this many people here in Nevada City, Valley. That's how quickly things can change. But you need to share your goal with somebody, okay? And preferably somebody like your director or your national or whoever your contact person is. And share your goal. When did you have a national? Okay, you're going. Okay. So you definitely want to share your goal. You know, I know that Nita and Valerie came in to make money. They just they want the pink Cadillac. They want to bypass all the other steps. They just want you to mail the pink car to them, and they will be fine. Okay? They don't want to do anything else. Okay, so the goal and the best way to start your business. Then the third thing, of course, we talked about product. Remember this: our company is the only company that offers you a buyback policy. I would rather have you all go in to your first party knowing that you have everything. Because you know what? You go in with more confidence than you don't. Did anybody start with a really small order here in which they had ordered more when they first started? Okay, Jenna, what did you start with?
1,200.
Okay, what happened?
I still have to order something, so I've made it bigger.
Okay, so you ordered at 1,200 and you had your first party, and what happened?
I think I had I didn't have it at my first party.
Okay.
The first party that I had it at, I think I had half the stuff that people bought, and I had to order the other half of it.
Okay, so you would have started with more. Okay, Geraldine?
I started with 600.
And what happened?
I had not enough for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's one party today. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because when I went to do that party with Nicole, it was $700. Nicole goes, how'd you do that? I said, you put product on people's faces, you stick them in front of a little mirror, they get excited, and they buy. That's how that works. Did anybody start on a profit here? Start with a profit order? What did you start with? 3,600. So you started with 3,600. Okay, all right. So there's the difference. I'm sorry, what did you start with? The 3,600. Okay, so, and people say, oh my God, that sounds like a lot. Let me tell you how quickly stuff can go. But I will tell you, you will feel more confident going in when you know you have everything, than because it takes a while to get, you know. But remember that we have a buyback policy, and I think that was my, for lack of a better word, security blanket. Because when you look like this when you join Mary Kay and you don't wear makeup, okay, you don't ever wear makeup and you're the tomboy in the family and you play sport in high school and college and you never wear anything, buying $2,000 with makeup scared me. But that was my saving grace. As my father said, he was in retail. He says, you know what, here's the deal. If our store buys all these clothes and we don't like them, the buyer doesn't buy them back. We're stuck with selling them and put them on sale. In Mary Kay, if you don't like it, you can do that. So that's the next thing. Okay. Then the next part you guys have to do in order to make a business and in order to build this business to be successful is you got to get on the date book. You need to get bookings. And so that's real clear. You need to make sure that you have bookings. And you guys have got bookings. And that is your parties and things like that. And the best way to do that is take the Mary Kay date book, which I think I have here. Is this the most current one? I don't know. Is this what it looks like now? Or does it look different? God, I can't keep up with the times, I swear. Huh? Oh, whatever. Okay. But anyway, what I would suggest you do is do month at a glance. I love month at a glance. And I learned very early on, I was really good at this and very diligent at this, is to block off all the days and times I did my Mary Kay. And because I worked full-time and went to school full-time, I blocked off Tuesday night, Thursday night, you know, and Wednesday morning, because that's all I had. Does that make sense? So you block off in your date book what you guys need. But that's really important to there too, is that you get on the date and then you know, ask your director, say, okay, if I want to make this amount of money, how many appointments is that total? What does that equal in value? I mean, how many hours is that? You know, if your boss, if Carrie, you work during the day? Okay, so what do you do? She's sleeping.
Teaches with me.
Okay, never mind. So if your boss said to you, Carrie, if you work at the school another 6 hours a week, we'll give you $1,000 a month raise, what would you do? Yeah, see.